as we said, Candace does really solid work. She does. And that's why I cover her, because she is relentless, and she is relentless on behalf of Charlie, which is obviously very important. And then at the same time, you got to recognize that there's inherent danger involved with what ends up happening as a result of how you choose to deal with a situation. Let's assume that she is correct. Sometimes, even when you're right, you have to know that unless you have absolute, irrefutable evidence that this is the case, even if you're absolutely correct, even if you're 100% correct, you have to be able to prove it. And this is where we're going to show you exactly the relentless pursuit of Candace got her into this hot water, which, again, I have no doubt that there has been threats on her life. I 1000% agree it's probably real. And again, you're talking about a head of state, one of the most powerful Western nations in the world. So yes, this is not surprising at all.
Born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. Figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine. For whatever reason, to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what Discovery is for. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away, and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to Discovery. I think that we owe that to the world.
Look, here's what I will say also in Candace's defense. She has not let up even an ounce. Now, apparently, she decided to step away from her show. My understanding is that she said that she's taking off the week, although that really shouldn't come as a surprise. It is Thanksgiving week, after all. I would think somebody like Candace is in a position where you're allowed to take time off. I would say that that's perfectly normal. But I'm also of the belief that, yeah, she probably has been met with legitimate death threats, and that there is probably somebody high up within the French government that either is affiliated with the Macrons and is aware of what they talk about, etc., and decided to pass the information along that, yeah, they're coming for you. So be on the lookout. Now, did the Macrons have anything to do with Charlie's demise? Again, I haven't followed this that closely to even make that leap, to even suggest that. But do I think that with the way that Candace has been relentless against this person, that they, with the amount of power that they have, and clearly they have it, that they wouldn't try to exercise some degree of authority over Candace? Yeah. I don't think that that's a stretch at all, to be honest.
I think that, yeah, if they really believe that they would have to air their stuff in their case, because they would, that's what she's talking about in Discovery. And would I put anything past the head of state to take out someone that's the threat to power? No, I don't. That doesn't seem remotely, that's very basic to me. Again, I go back to this thing with her, like, who cares? This is so clearly stems from, like, I get where we are now in that she is being sued for libel, essentially, and they'll have to now put forward, she's going to have to prove that what she said is the truth. Like, this is going to get very interesting if it gets that far. So would they consider maybe eliminating the problem? I don't know. But at the end of the day, the fact that she even pursued this in the first place speaks to her character. And this is one of the reasons why I'm not a fan, because there are so many things going on in the world that are impacting people, all kinds of people. This impacts nobody. This just gets you clicks. This is a ridiculous thing that we're even talking about. But honestly, earlier I spoke to Peter and I really didn't have the energy to like figure out different things. And I said, dealer's choice. We talk about whatever you want tonight. But like, to me, the fact that Candace gives a shit about this person's genitals is so fucking dumb. Who cares? Who does that help?
We'll finish it up.
Anyways, you guys, we are revolting against this. We're revolting against the perverts that run the world. And I want to be very clear here. I count you among them. I think you're sick. I think you're disgusting. And I am fully prepared to take on this battle on behalf of the entire world. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. On behalf of the entire world, I will see you in court.
That's a good use of our resources. That's a good use of your money. That's a good use of court time. Okay, good. So you know what? Maybe it's good that every once in a while I do one of these segments with you, because you apparently on Saturday nights are attracting a whole slew of pieces of shit. I've been watching the chat. It's like you have attracted some of those weird people, from the gripers to whoever these people are.
People are allowed to support. Listen, we don't have to agree on everything, but the idea that because we are acknowledging the fact that, hey, listen, like I said, my biggest issue with the Macrons is that they are very, very cordial with Israel. And that to me is the bigger story here. See, but for everyone, there's another. So there you go.
And I don't care. I mean, I could tell who's who, but you know, when there's somebody in the chat calling me over woke, I don't know what they normally watch, because I am not in, like, I don't know what that's about.
Colin, pull up the tweet, please. So this is the message. This is the message that Candace put out, and I guess she's off the radar for the time being. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team in National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I am told there is one Israeli that is on this assassination squad, and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided its concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13 Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Possard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state and France apparently want us both dead and has authorized personnel units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since this source claims our leaders are aware. But I have more specific information, which is definitively verifiable. Should they care to reach out to me, to the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you truly. Let's all be revealed. I would say that whether there is some hyperbolic nature to the statement, I do believe that, as we have experienced, for those of you who've been following our channel, I wouldn't necessarily say that we have flown too close to the sun, but we have challenged power in many ways. But in one specific way, a very powerful synagogue, we decided to challenge because their message was absolutely abhorrent. And it was not from a public broadcast. It was from it was from their own channel broadcast, but someone brought it to our attention. I decided to play it. It ended up going viral, and they decided to sick the dogs on us. They actually called the police. They actually threatened us. And at the end of the day, it's like, well, either you're going to cower from it or you're going to respond. And we decided, all right, that's how you want to fight? We'll fight back. Why not? We can't do the channel that we're doing. We can't approach 100,000 subscribers and at the speed that we're doing it right now.
Don't jinx it. You're jinxing it by even talking about it.
Knock on wood. The only reason that this is happening is because we have been bold and brave to go at it the way that we have, just as our friend Anthony Aguilar and a lot of others have done the same. So that is, I would say, reason to be concerned for Candace. A lot of people have come out and they have all said pretty much universally that, yeah, this does seem like this is probably likely to be true.
Again, I ask, okay, let's say it is. Let's say it is. What effect does it have to like what is the outcome that people are wanting to happen from that being proven? That's what I understand. Like, I don't understand what that does. There are just too many other things to be thinking about than someone's personal stuff. And if it is something bigger and deeper, then that's where they need to go and stay out of their pants.
I
Like,
also
it's
think,
just
yeah.
honestly, there's just
And
more important things.
Yeah, and I also think that when you get right down to it, is this whole story with the Macrons. I believe it goes back at least a couple of years. I don't think that this was something that was new. It just so happens that the whole odyssey between, I mean, I do believe if for those of you that have been following Candace for a long time, if anybody in the chat wants to verify it, I believe Candace was making this a big focus of her platform prior to her break with Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. So it's understandable that this became something that got carried over, and she wasn't going to let it go. Our our connection, if you will, our desire to cover Candace had more to do strictly with Israel, and the fact that she has been relentless in trying to get to the bottom of Charlie's assassination, which we both agree that Israel was involved in some capacity.
Of course.
And so
yeah,
now what you're seeing, as we are trying to explain to everybody, is that if you're going to aim at the queen, if you're going to aim at the king, you can't miss. So if she's got the goods, and what it is about the French first couple that they feel is necessary to go after, again, I'm not 100% sure. I believe that there are worse leaders certainly in the world than Macron is, but the point is, it is completely believable that Candace has to go underground, but I believe that Candace has been underground for a while now. Part of the reason why she never showed up at Charlie's funeral and whatever you want to call that, celebration of life, I suppose.
Yeah, they haven't had a funeral. There's still been no forensics investigation report, no autopsy, none of that. None of that happened. And people are just like, that's no, I mean, she's right on for going after those things. I think that is one of those that, we were treated to a nice theatrical spectacle of an assassination. The least we can do is get some follow through.